or even years, I am going to conduct a live on my YouTube channel because of the my extreme engagements with the new assignments and new situation. I was not able to do full justice with my channel, but with this live, I am just restarting it and giving a small ignition to start my engine of life with this smart introductory live session. The purpose of this live session is not to give you something related to the basic title of the channel, that is music, but the secondary aspect of the channel is science. And with this live, I am just going to intimate all of my friend that in coming weeks or months, I am planning to give you a series of learnings, set of wisdom that I could retrieve, I could gain from one of my foreign visit that recently I conducted. You will be happy to know that in the month of August, almost for a month, I was in Canada and seeing the cities of Waterloo, Guelph, and many of the universities, and as well as the whole Toronto city. The purpose was to attend the International Water Association's Global Water Congress 24 at Toronto. It is a biennial event, and it's a very prestigious event where around 140 to 150 countries were there, and 10,000 participants with more than 200 300 sessions and lot of things. I think one of the biggest global conference on water sector I have attended in my life, and for these 4 to 5 days I remained fully busy, fully engaged. I did not waste even an hour to go out of the Congress. I utilized the venue, the exhibits, the exhibition stalls, the group discussions, the presentations, and the technical sessions. In some of the sessions, I was a part of, roundtable discussion. All the things that we are attained in that Congress was evolved and revolved around the single most important entity of the world, single most important entity of the human being on this globe, and that is known as water. So there was a very good churning of wisdom for the water sector. I can say there remains a lot of technical matter that I can discuss and present here. But what was the special? Because in last 40 years of my professional experience in the sector of water, water sets, canals, reservoirs, rivers, or farm irrigation, or even the micro irrigation, water use efficiency, and agriculture, forestry, and grasslands, urban hydrology, rural hydrology, and watershed hydrology, modeling, everything I have done in my past 40 years on varied kind of catchments, maybe a smaller experimental catchment of few square meter to 1,000 square kilometers bigger catchments. So all my experience that I gained in India by serving in more than 6-7 states, by dealing more than 30 water sets and dealing dozens of high-end projects, academics, research, modeling, and research guidance. After all this experience, when I visited this Congress, I found that really the ocean of knowledge is very big, and I am a only single drop of that ocean. So, uh, to the my way of thinking, there are three things in the life. I repeat, there are three things in the life that must not remain stagnant. They must flow all the time. The first is money. Your money should not remain stagnant. It should be invested, it should flow. Then your wisdom and knowledge. It should not be remain confined with one person. It should flow continuously across the people, across the region, across the organization, across the sector, and whatever it is, whatever the metrics of stakeholder is there. And third thing is water. Very important. It must flow. It should not remain stagnant. And unless otherwise it is flowing, it is going to qualitatively very poor. So for making water fresh and good quality, it must always flow. So how to ensure this healthy flow to have very good surface water bodies, good groundwater bodies, and whatever the form of the water in a good quality water. So in this conference, there were many new things, those were discussed. I am going to share one by one in my next episodes. In this particular curtain raising episode, I am giving you a small, just matrix, what I am planning to discuss in a series of my lives. The first thing that was discussed in this congress, entirely different, was climate resilience. We must work on climate resilience with different approach that should be inclusive, integrated, and global. We must integrate the traditional wisdom with the modern wisdom and with the smart tools and the perfect technologies that are coming, say artificial intelligence or whatever it is. Those smart technology must be blended with the traditional technologies so that we can work very nicely on the climate resilience aspect, on every aspect of the water bodies, whatever the size it may be, across the globe. Because water is not a thing that should remain confined in a country. It is just like a body. It is a confined system, and the boundary of the system is whole globe. So we have to tackle this water in a very comprehensive manner, not in piecemeal approach, country wise or region wise. We must deal total water system at global scale, and then can make the slices to have its better management at grassroots level, so that we can have more productivity. Productivity means more water productivity. So climate resilience was one of the key theme or key idea that emerged from this congress. Second one was the issue of water scarcity in water stressed regions. The regions which are water stressed are expanding in a very fast way, very intensively. The domain of intensive stressed water regions are expanding in very high speed across the globe. So what should be the technological or managerial aspects for dealing the water scarcity for those regions where water scarcity is spreading? It was the second point that I will be taking in coming episodes, if it is possible for me. The third one was the so far we are talking only on water quantity, the modeling of water quantity. But what about quality? So this quality aspects, in particularly the contaminants in the water bodies, it was the third most important thing that was emerged. Because I discussed with many forums, at many stalls of the countries. Maybe it is a UK stall, Netherlands stall, maybe it is a US, Canada, Japan. I raised this point there. Contaminants in the water bodies. It should be taken as a big picture. But we are seeing contaminant in a glass of water or in a cup of water. It is not like that. what is the level of contaminant in different bowls, and those bowls could be small pond, small reservoirs, or even the sea. You can consider sea as a bowl. So the size of the bowl from a small tea or a coffee mug up to the sea, we consider them as a bowl. So what are the contaminants level in these bowls of the water? That should be the next area where we have to work. We have to redirect our hydrological water resources kind of things in this aspect. The fourth important new thing that I could learn was the water infrastructure strengthening. So far we are talking only of measurement of the water and management of the water. But what about the aging infrastructure of the water? The dams, reservoirs, ponds, wells, or whatsoever it is, fields. The water infrastructures have attained their life. Some of them are 100 years old, 200 years old. In African countries they are even more older. So everything has its age. So their age is now gone. We have to revive them with the new infrastructure by diverting the money from our policies towards improving the water infrastructure. So how to revive, how to improve the status and quality and quantity of the water infrastructure. It was one of the most important thing that I could learn from this Congress. And then the next came was the data and digitization. In the conference I talked, or I spent my 30 to 40% time on discussing on this aspect only, the water data and the digitization prospects for the water data. How better we can digitize, how better we can collect the data of water in terms of quality and quantity. Let us have a very big pool of water data, because unless you have good data, you don't have good information. And unless you have good information, you don't have good knowledge. And I'm sure if you don't have good knowledge, you can never have a good wisdom. And finally, when there is no good wisdom, our policies are very poor, because policies are made on the basis of the wisdom, and that wisdom is lacking. So we have to be very much careful in that sense to create the qualitative, quantitative aspects of the water data, to have good policies, because our water policies are failing, are not so effective, though we have crossed many decades and many centuries. The reason is we don't have the proper, adequate, reliable and continuous water data. How to work on this, the water data and digitization? It was one of the most important thing that was raised there, and I have many conceptual frameworks based upon my 4-decade experience. I don't know how much succeed I will be, but if I get some platform, maybe I will contribute some wisdom to this aspect. The next was the nature-based solutions. So far we are talking of only material-based solutions. You use cement, concrete, or whatever. Even the vegetation also. It's also material nowadays. Use the grasses, use the trees, plant the trees. These are material that are being imported or exported, purchased, transported and placed in the catchment watersheds or the earth. So this is a kind of natural material. But there is another segment of treating these water bodies and water sector or watersheds is the nature-based solution. You understand the nature, study the nature, how they are controlling it, how they are controlling the water system. Once you study it, you decode it. After decoding it, you make the theories, and let us promote our knowledge, our information and our teaching in the blackboard or the smart board in a way where this nature-based solution could be made part of the curricula, or our scholars must learn from this angle also, so that they can apply the good solutions, nature-based solutions, where material is not involved, We have to just understand the nature and then divert the applications. And the second last was the circular economy in water. It's new thing coming. We were talking of economy of water, productivity of water, but water is such a fluid, it's difficult to define. It is difficult to define. It is a most universal fluid on the globe, just like blood. Without blood, we cannot live. There is no body, there is no living thing. So without water, it's a white blood, and we have red blood. So it should be treated that way. So circular economy of the water was the next aspect that I am going to talk, if it's possible for me. And lastly, friends, it was the social dimensions, equity and access. The distribution of water, the distribution of water-based infrastructure, distribution of water-based conservation efforts, distribution of water bodies, distribution of water supplies, distribution of canals, distributions of surface water spread area, distribution of groundwater, distribution of baths, distribution of natural rainfall that is stored, all kind of such water structure, infrastructure or water bodies must be distributed with a sense of equity. Everybody must get their share. It should not be concentrated in one state or in one location, one district, one village, one village or one farmer or one field. We must have some techniques to have a matrix or a architecture to define a good equity and good access, where most of the people have access to water, rainwater that is stored. Because only rainwater harvesting is not a solution. It is as good as not harvesting. Unless you harvest, store it very effectively, and then recycle it very effectively, and then use it very effectively to have more biomass per gram of the water or per liter of the water that is used. So this is the equity aspect of the water and economic aspect. So these are the few points that I will be discussing in my next series of discussion, where I will be quoting some of the good presentations from very high level experts of water and water industry and water sectors, because I was so fortunate, because from my university, from my group, it's a ISECT group, I am really thankful to my chairman, who is a very visionary person, Engineer Santosh Chaube. And in a just one WhatsApp request, he allowed me to go and see this Congress and learn something there. And I utilized every minute of my visit. I had visited University of Waterloo, I had visited University of Guelph, I visited the Toronto Metropolitan University, and I visited many other destinations also. And very intensively I had been in this Congress for 5 days, and discussed with all the super experts, all the giants, all the gems of the water industry and water sector, cutting across hundreds of nations, and I learned a lot. So friends, whatever I little learned from there, and whatever special discussions I had there, whatever storms I had there, because in this conference Indians were not much, hardly 10s or 12s I could find there. Mostly those were from other countries. They were Indians, but not originally deputed from India. They were coming from other countries where they are working. And as far as stall is concerned, there we have good stall of Namami Gange from the India. One stall was there, but the performance of the stall, contents of that stall, that I will be sharing with all of you. I have many things to share with you, friends, but with my new engagement as a Vice Chancellor of Dr. C.V. Raman University in Bihar, there is a limitation of time, there is a paucity of time. So friends, I hope that I believe in sharing my wisdom that I have got from this, my visit from Canada, in different parts of the Canada. Also, I have been over the Paris, and it gave a feel that I have seen a different world. Once again, thank you to my ISET Guru, AGU, Engineer Santosh Pandey, the chairman of ISET Group, and all the officers of this organization who gave me opportunity, and I will be sharing many of the things with them also. And I have tried to create some roads, some papes to have some very good MOUs or collaborative working, not only with Canadian universities, but I have indirectly touched some of the European, some of the American universities also, where people are looking now towards India with a different angle. They are seeing the Indian education system, the Indian research, and Indian natural resource management system in a different way. People don't know. This is my feeling from there. They don't know much what we are doing. We are doing a lot, but we are not showing it properly. The exhibition is not good. So there is a time when we have to work together. We have to make our groups in a very very mega kind of things must be there. Mega projects must be there. Some mega versions of the collaborative working must be there. And yes, one more thing that I learned from this Congress, and I stressed on this particular point, and that is a PPP. We are talking a lot on public-private partnership, but my experience again says that those public organizations, they are good, I understand. I had been in public sector for 40 years, in Government of India 25 years, Government of Gujarat 15 years. I have seen all nut and bolts of those systems. This is new experience for me in private sector, but I can say nobody is complete, nobody is perfect, nobody is fully efficient. The only matter is that this is the time where for research and development, education, when the new education policy is already on, we have to work together, we have to share our resources, we have to share our wisdom, and we have to give respect to each other. We need not to tell that public sector is inferior for 1, 2, 3 reason, or private sector is inferior for 1, 2, 3 reason, or see people are inferior for 1, 2, 3 reason. Nobody is inferior and nobody is superior. Only thing is that let us come together, let us club together, let us utilize our strengths, only strengths, forget the weaknesses. Private sector or private universities have their own problems, own constraints and own weaknesses. Public sector also have their own constraints, own weaknesses. And pupil or the end client or the stakeholders, they have their own constraints, own limitations. But we have to keep away all these negative things or constraints one side. Let us strike on a conceptual framework where the only strengthful points of public sector, private sector and the pupil, they must be detected, joined together, and we can work on this line to utilize the strength of each other rather than blaming. The game of blaming and claiming, I repeat, the game of blaming and claiming should be stopped at every level. Maybe it is at a departmental level, maybe it is a organization level, university level, or group level, or public-private sector level. The game of blaming and claiming should be immediately finished now. We must go for a target where we open our mind to let us share the things. What is my strength? I am ready to give you. Whatever your strength, you must be ready to give me. And give respect and get respect. Let us work together for this country, which is working very high on the NRM sector and agriculture sector and overall every science and every engineering sector. but our signatures are not so good at world level. We are doing very high level of working, but we are wasting our energy while playing the game of, again I say, blaming and claiming. Forget blaming and claiming. Let us work together. Let us create some flagship programs where some good collaborations of public universities, private universities, government departments, private departments. Let us work together, create a model at every location of the country. So this is my saying. So to propagate this feeling, I am going to carve out a series of my life in this particular YouTube channel that I have created for some other purpose. The purpose was a light music, but rather music. Later it was converted into a science plus music. So I am giving more inclination towards science because of my position, because of my engagement, because of my time slots. So I will be using the science more plus some small fry of the music in between. So friends, this is the stuff that I like to put as a curtain raiser. I am planning to have series of online, my lives on this YouTube channel to let me share what I have earned, what I have learned in my last 40 years and what I am learning and earning. So let the future generation, the scholars, at least scholars must listen. We must say, before we leave this world, whatever knowledge or wisdom we have acquired, we must very effectively let us contribute to the country, organizations, people and the universities. So let the scholars must learn these things rather than learning the books and theoretical aspects. They must be skill-based scholars. So I am happy to be in this particular university. Friends, I am in Dr. C.V. Raman University in Bihar. It looks, I too was not seeing it in a big university, but after coming here, I found they are working very nicely, very seriously. And our whole group, ISET group, it has 6 universities, and we have very, very big, dimension in terms of the subjects, disciplines, and working ethics and the working domains. So friends, join us. Let us do something extraordinary for the common people, for the farms, for the farmers, for the farming, and for the villages, for the cities, and for the whole India, including all states and even whole world. Let us have some global solutions with our local wisdom, and let us have some local solutions with the global wisdom. So thank you very much. प्लीज़ मेरी चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, और अगर आपको अच्छा लगे, कोई मेरिट अगर आपको इसमें लगे, इफ़ यू फाइंड एनी मेरिट इन माय चैनल, प्लीज़ विजिट इट, सब्सक्राइब इट, and I am expanding my connects and my sphere of expertise. So let us hope we will be successful to give something, some added knowledge and wisdom to our Indian pool of scientific knowledge as well as the other traditional knowledge, to create a very smart next generation water experts and other next generation natural resource managers. So thank you very much. Good night. Thank you very much.